I want to welcome everybody tonight to the Board of Trustees meeting of March the 9th, 2022. This is our regular business meeting, and we will begin as we normally do, both with the Pledge of Allegiance and then a moment of silence. And tonight's moment of silence, unfortunately for the Delhi administration family and all of our employees, we've lost another one. And this is the father of our Trish Kliesinger, who is with our Public Works Department's father died, and that was Riley Lowe. So we express our sympathy and prayers to Trish and her family. And also, we offer up our prayers, our resilience, our hope to the Army, the fighters, the families of the refugees of Ukraine. Please, God, shelter them from harm. And now the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. All right, we will begin the meeting then with the approval of the minutes. Mr. Luby.
Motion to approve the minutes from the Board of Trustees regular meeting on February 23rd, 2022, and dispense with the readings.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor? Yes. Motion approved.
Approval of overtime for pay periods ending. Motion to approve the payment of overtime for pay period ending February 22nd, 2022.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve bills for payment.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor? Yes. Motion approved. Report from our fiscal officer, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2022-19, resolution authorizing the township administrator to spend greater than $10,000 on behalf of the township, declaring an emergency and dispense with the second reading.
I will introduce, moving the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Administrator Cameron?
I can tell you there's two things on this request. One is the locution system for the fire stations. Chief Campbell talked about that in the budget process. And the other one is various door and lock replacements at various buildings that goes over 10,000. So that was also budgeted.
All right, thank you.
I will move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes.
As far as significant transactions since the last meeting, we cut a check to Vogapol Fire Equipment for $28,300, and that's for firefighter thermal tracking equipment. And on 3/3, our payroll was $319,000. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Luby. We will now move to trustees' correspondence, and I want to explain to everyone that trustees' correspondence will be done in two rounds. And the first to the trustees will be our regular business correspondence. Trustee Davis.
No, not at this time.
Trustee Sturts.
Yes. We've received, from time to time, anonymous complaints about something that might be going on your street that you think should be dealt with, and so on and so forth. Again, let us reiterate, if you send it in anonymously, we cannot address the issue and let you know what's happening, why it's being addressed or not being addressed. Is it really something that can be acted upon or not? We appreciate those who do send them in and you tell us that you have something going on, and our Assistant Administrator Greg DeLong can explain, or anybody in the department can explain. So I do want to bring, if I could, Madam Chair, ask Greg to come up and talk about people saying that some of the operating businesses out of a home. Mr. John, can you just address that real quickly?
This is Greg DeLong, our Assistant Administrator.
Hiding in the back of the room. Yes, we do get quite a bit of complaints of people operating a business out of the home. Our home occupation definition is basically use of like a hairdresser or a dog groomer where clients are coming and going from the home. That is what is a business operating out of a home. Many people work from their homes. You have insurance adjusters, you have, I'm trying to think, contractors. They're based out of their home. They are working from there, but they don't have clients coming and going. And that is the big difference. So you may see people bring a work truck home. That does not mean they're operating their business out of their home. They're basically based out of that home and taking that truck out into the field wherever they need to go. But we do get a lot of those complaints filed with us throughout the year. And again, we encourage people to call us so we can explain the rules. As you mentioned earlier, anonymous complaints are very difficult for us because there's times where the residents don't feel like we're acting upon them, but we truly are doing our best. But we cannot relay that message back to them, and I know there's an aggression that happens because they're not seeing results or getting any response, and we just don't have any way to contact them.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Any other question? Okay.
And then I did have one more thing. I want to commend one of our police officers who basically saved a little girl's life in a dog attack. We received an email thanking him and commending him for taking action to protect the little girl. And so we are very, very proud of our officers. Can I say his name? Sure. Okay. It was Officer Mark Myers. Yeah. So, thank you, Mark, for taking things under control and basically risking your own, as a dog tried to attack you too. So, again, we're very proud of our police officers. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I think we're all very grateful for everything that they do to protect us. This past Tuesday, Trustee Sturts and I had a great opportunity to be part of the photo op and the proclamation done on the courthouse steps for Hamilton County for Women's History Month. And I just wanted to say that it was quite a privilege, and we thank Commissioner Driehaus for including us in this Women's History Month proclamation. The trustees here have the proclamation signed, and we will forward this on to Commissioner Driehaus as a thank you for including us. Okay, now let's go to the second round of trustee correspondence. All of us sitting here have received an abundance of correspondence regarding the Delhi skirt game. We have received correspondence, both pro, con, indifferent, angry, happy. There's a long range of emotions that come along with the correspondence that we've received. So I'm going to turn now to my fellow trustees to offer their feelings on this as well as myself. We will then go to, and I have in front of me, sign-in sheets from people willing to speak on behalf of the skirt game in either direction, okay? So, Trustee Davis, I'm going to begin with you.
Thank you, Trustee Stevie. I wrote out some thoughts here to kind of bring it all together, so if you'll indulge me for a minute. First of all, thank you all for being here tonight. It's good to see our community come together when there's a concern, or in this case, something worth rallying for. These past 48 hours, I'll be honest, have been humbling for me. I've seen some of the social media posts, cruel at times, and also the local media coverage that doesn't seem to be giving quite the whole story. Dare I even say fake news or misunderstandings. Desperately need to be addressed, and I'm glad you are here. I'd rather see it here and we talk it out as a community than the social media and going all that through the media. We get more accomplished here tonight. I know one thing without a doubt, we all love Delhi, and we all love the skirt game. We share that vision. The skirt game has been an incredible blessing and financial support to so many needy families and residents for decades. As for me, this trustee, I never want to lose the skirt game. That was never what it was about for me. Again, I speak for myself, and I'm sure my fellow trustees will share their opinions. However, I do think there has been some misinformation passed along through social media and the media in general that isn't accurate and doesn't tell the whole story. First, it's been noticed over the last few years that attendance has dropped off somewhat, for whatever different reasons, COVID notwithstanding. When attendance goes down, so do donations, which are vitally needed for so many. As the 2022 skirt game topic came up this year, there was a thought of how can we make the 2022 Delhi skirt game the best ever. Bigger, better, where everyone feels welcome, and we all come out and celebrate a fun night out of the house for an incredible cause. We have always worked with the Skirt Game Committee and felt free to offer any thoughts or suggestions to help improve the evening in whatever way possible. Again, my friends, only thoughts and suggestions. The thought was, how can we support the Skirt Game Committee to make this year's game a huge success again? Different ideas and themes were bounced around. Themes like maybe make it an annual Delhi Skirt Game Superheroes Night, or because what happens is nothing less than heroic of what you're witnessing. The people coming together for this cause and the people that have been helped. Maybe make it a Hollywood star night or a rock star night, some other type of theme, and dress however you want for your favorite star. Not Elvis, that's my gig. Anyway. So just some fun, different ideas, things to explore. That's all it was. They are suggestions and trying to be of support. That being said, obviously not all ideas are good ones, but it does start some dialogue on how we can make things better, which is why you're here, because you want to make it better and you want to protect your territory. I get it. Again, their decision, the Skirt Game Committee. I truly hated seeing our community upside down regarding possible changes to the skirt game, especially when most of the information being passed out just wasn't accurate. It was never about dividing the community, but about uniting this community. So in closing, Skirt Game Committee, you have heard different ideas and suggestions to help the skirt game hit that next level of success. The skirt game is your game, not the trustees. It is yours. It is your time, treasure, talent that has been invested in it, and we want to help you protect that also and try to make it as good as possible. Skirt Game Committee, I trust your leadership. I will support whatever decision you think is best for your game. Again, I will support what you think is best for your game. I hope we can all join together and support the Skirt Game Committee and make the 2022 Delhi Township Skirt Game the best one ever, because, my friends, united we stand. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Davis. Trustee Sturts.
Yes, I too prepared some thoughts. Lots going on. This issue has been talked about for many years, even prior to my tenure here on the board, and I'm in my 6th year. So this has been going on. Every time it comes around, the contract comes around, it gets discussed again and again. So I'm in full support of the mission of the skirt game and the great causes it supports. As a matter of fact, my husband and I have worked for it for many, many years, even chairing a couple booths now and then, okay? We receive a lot of comments, communications throughout the year from various people about this event. Good, bad, and different. Okay. As a board, we agreed to ask the Skirt Game Board to open a respectful dialogue about evolving the event. A meeting recently took place that ended with the option would be discussed at your next meeting, which is tomorrow night. Before that could occur, many of the committee took to social media and a public firestorm started. Here are some facts. Sponsorships have been withdrawn the past year based on your event. Profits have been declining over the past 5 years, withstanding 2 COVID years. This event is not just simply a let's plan a fundraiser and put it on. Besides the dedicated hours that you put in and the hours of the committee and our employees, it takes all hands on deck for all of our employees. It does not allow for township residents to rent any part of the park for those 2 days that you are using it. The hours that our employees put in doesn't even cover the overtime and the cost. So we have been supporting you for many, many years. We are committed to this event. Since the social media firestorm, we've been called out by name. We have been called names. Potential threats of action have been threatened. A public call for uprising went on and on and on. So all similar behavior to what I refer to as bullying, and we're better than that. We should be working together. For being a charitable organization, we're not coming off very charitable towards each other. Some have said we aren't leaders up here or representative of our residents. Actually, it's very hard to stand up for change. And yes, it isn't popular. Albert Einstein said, what is right is not always popular, and what is popular is not always right. I know it's hard for many to understand how something that is just for fun and games could be offensive. But therapists deal with this every day with their clients. People do feel the hurt. There are some traditions that have been changed or stopped over the years that nobody ever thought would be stopped. Things come to mind, a minstrel show, Al Jolson type entertainment. My dad performed in those in the 50s. They're unacceptable. Hazing at fraternities, unacceptable. Cockfighting, unacceptable. Topless reviews in Vegas, a very long-standing event and profitable event, stopped in 2009. Change probably didn't come easily for those events either. Throughout the year, when comments come about the game, I ask people, what do you like about the game? What don't you like about the game? They're not interested in the game. They're not interested in watching people come dressed up. They want more fun. They want something for them to come see that's new and different. They come to drink, buy chances to support you, buy food, and wait for the fireworks. That's what's bringing people to your event. Like Mike said, how can we make it better? How can we bring more people? I know lots of people who don't come anymore, and that's a shame because it's such a wonderful event. So some suggestions on themes that we would hope you might consider. Movie themes, Lion King characters, Beauty and the Beast, any Disney family movie characters. Old-time baseball, similar to Field of Dreams. Hanna-Barbera characters or any cartoon grouping. Dressed as babies in diapers, something like that. Play Quidditch. Harry Potter is very popular. Play ball using stick horse or on stick horses. Marvel versus DC characters. Disney versus Pixar villains. 80s versus 90s or any decade. They're just potential themes, and what I presented here are themes for the next 10 years that can keep you going, make you different, make it new, make people want to come and see, what are they going to do? Nothing can be changed for the better if communication and minds are totally shut down. I hope that isn't the case here. And my final comment is, we can do better for everyone. When we know better, we do better. Now, how can we resolve this amicably? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Trustee Sturts. I think a lot of what I have to say will be a repeat, but please bear with me. First off, I want to say thank you to all of you who took the time to send your comments, your feelings about this issue to all of us, because it means a lot. It shows you care, and it shows who the Delhi community really is. I want to begin with this statement. The trustees have not said no to anything. All right? Let's get that out there right now. We have not seen this year's contract. Now, we will eventually. I would expect to see it. Every year we get a contract. Every year we may tweak it. We may have suggestions. There have been things about where to set things in the park. There have been things about where to put a porta potty. But you know what? It's conversation between the administration and the Skirt Game Committee. Yes, I know. You know, a lot of the suggestions have been made or are all in good faith, and they are a compromising dialogue. And you have been, as a committee, wonderful to work with. Wonderful to work with. And we don't want to see that end. So understand that nothing to this day has been denied. The media, sorry people who are here from the media, but many of you have falsely led us with false narratives, okay? Our Delhi Skirt Game Committee is a selfless group of volunteers separate from local government. The suggestion offered to the committee this year, and has been, as Trustee Sturts mentioned, for the last 5 years, to mellow, to become into the 2022 year. Not to stop the skirt game, but to evolve into what you've said, comics, heroes, something that is more family-friendly and 2022 relevant. So, I love the mission of the skirt game. I have generations of cousins who have been on that field. I am so grateful for all that the Skirt Game Committee has done for this community and how they have respected the fragility of our residents in need. They are a caring, unselfish group. That's who the Skirt Game Committee is. So I guess I have some question as to why now they would not express the same sensitivity who find men in dresses offensive. That's all. Just be who you've always been, a caring, unselfish group of Delhi residents doing the best for so many. Look, I'm an elected official. I represent all the residents of Delhi, straight, gay, trans, all the residents. To me, to be aware of how some feel and not share it with this committee, well, that's not who I am. I'm going to represent all of you. Whatever this committee decides tomorrow night on how to go forward, and I understand some of you are divided on how that going forward might be, it is ultimately the decision of your committee. We're making a suggestion, that's all. We are Delhi. We are a friendly, safe, inclusive community. Please represent us well. That's my statement. Now, what I'd like to do is turn to public comments regarding this subject. Normally, our public comments are held till the end of the meeting, but I'd like to give these people an opportunity to express themselves now. And I'll just go over a few of the rules of conduct on this. The first is you come to the mic, you give your name, and you give your address. Fiscal Officer Luby is going to be the timer. We allow 5 minutes for everyone. So I'll begin as I have them here in order. And our first speaker for tonight is Kelly Conley. Kelly, if you want to come up to the microphone, please.
Hey guys, hi, my name's Kelly Conley. I live at 5316 Seabury, 45238. First of all, statement, as a member of the Delhi Committee, we have never asked for any suggestions from you all when it's regarded to the scheme itself. Okay? So we understand our struggle, with the declining, staff and or the people that have been coming out to the skirt game. Okay, so we can handle our own there.
Agreed.
So next question is, if the players do not comply with your suggestion about not dressing up as women, will you hold the Delhi Park from us from playing on it by not agreeing to the contract?
I believe that will be up to a vote. And
I can tell you I won't. I've made my point clear.
Because if
It's your decision. what you
it's your
have to do.
decision. In my opinion, first off, Kelly, the suggestions are just that, okay?
I agree.
We're trying to build for you a better response.
But we never asked for it.
No.
Thank you.
No. Okay, everyone, you've been very respectful up to now. Don't misbehave at this point. Kelly has the microphone. We're listening to him respectfully, and we expect you to respect listening to us. Okay, Kelly. The thing about, will we go ahead and allow you to do it? Yeah, I would say yes.
By signing the contract.
As long as have you been part of signing the contract before?
I've been with the
Okay,
Delhi
so
Circuit.
you know it's a give and take. on where you are, when you want, how many this, how many that. It's all give and take. It's all compromise, and it's always worked out. It's always worked out to where your committee is happy and the local government is happy. Remember, you're the only event in Delhi Park that we basically closed the park for 2 days. It's our policemen, it's our firemen, it's our facilities. But you know what? That's how we feel. That's how we feel about your project, your mission, your caring for the community and its residents. I think that says a lot. Any comment?
I have another question.
Okay.
How much does the Delhi Township charge the skirt game for the park and the services?
You know, I don't really know the exact number. Mr. Libby, do you happen to know?
I don't have it.
I can tell you it's over $1,000.
Okay.
So that is $1,000 out of the families of Delhi to go into the township.
And like I said, it doesn't cover our costs
No.
at all.
No, it doesn't.
So we are contributing towards the financial aspect of it.
But it is not free, and you do not give it to us.
Right?
No.
All right, I just wanted to clarify that. Because I know that we pay over $900 to use that park.
Kelly, we're bending as far as we're going to go, okay? We're bending. I don't think I would push the small amount that we charge you for our police, our fire, and our facilities.
That money goes to the families of Delhi. All that money,
Okay?
I'm just saying.
And all of us have been in attendance, and I want to tell you, I never go without a pocket full of cash. And I don't think Mike does, and I know Rose doesn't, and I know Jim and his family are there as well. We'll support you, but it'll be from the trustees and fiscal officer.
So can you assure us that that park will be available to us if we do not dress as you have suggested?
Yes. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why are you so against the sensitivity of men in dresses that other people are experiencing? I'd like to understand your position.
It's not the sensitivity of this. It is a tradition. And this tradition has been going on for 45 years.
And there's a lot of traditions that have evolved with time. There's a lot of thoughts, a lot of beliefs. We've all had to change.
It wasn't an issue 40 years ago.
It
It was
wasn't.
an issue 20 years ago.
Who made you guys the moral police of Delhi?
I think you're really challenging this. The thing is, explain to me, or us, where has your mission correlated to the dress? You have made this where you're digging in and representing your mission, when in fact, isn't it what you're doing good for the township with not hurting anybody? If you know and it's come to your attention that people have been offended and hurt, that, why can't you?
Madam Chair, we're at 6 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly, thank you. All right, my next speaker then is Nancy Diddleberger. Nancy?
Hello, my name's Nancy Rui Diddleberger, 5317 Panther Court, Cincinnati, Delhi. I am a member on the E-Board of the Delhi Skirt Game. My family has been in the skirt game from day one, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very upset that we got a letter from one of the people at the table up here suggesting that we change the name of the skirt game. I'm listening to all of you saying about different characters. That's what we do. The guys are dressed up, but they're characters. We've had Wonder Woman. So every game that we have is based on characters. Last year we tried doing a regular baseball game. There's some people, the guys that like baseball, that was all good. Other people said it's not fun. And as far as things going down, yes, they have. The pandemic was horrible. Before that, we've got people that's been in this game since day one. We're getting older. There's people a lot older than me that's in it, especially gone down, and we can't get the people to help. We can't get volunteers. Our biggest thing, even from the fire department, told us their biggest complaint was not enough for the kids to do. Well, you have to have adult supervision for anything you have with kids. And we're bringing that back this year. We got some volunteers, some mothers and children, things that we don't even have to buy gifts for. Just games that, you win whatever you throw, the toss the ring on, things like that. And as far as people being upset, I would like to know who is upset about it. And I don't think anybody in this room can say they haven't been affected with somebody, friends. I've got numerous gay friends. I've had people in my family that are gay. And it has nothing to do with any of that. And if you know the difference between the genders, the people who want to dress up, say man to woman, like in the gay community, they go all out. They shave their beards, they have the waxes. I know because one of my friends had passions all the time, and 10 of us girls would go down and help them dress. So, I know what it's all about. And this has nothing to do with anything like that. You don't see our guys going out on the field, shaving their beards, shaving their legs, trying to be prissy, like normal, as people would say, some of the people. But I think I'm appalled by it. Without the pandemic, this would have been our 46th year. Got a letter from someone here saying, suggesting to change the name. Well, the president changed the name on our Delhi Skirt Game shirt last year to Fun Fest, 46 years of Delhi Fun Fest. Didn't even bring it in front of the committee, but really ticked me off. And that was uncalled for, very uncalled for. So, fair is fair here. We understand that you're getting complaints. My thing is, if you don't like hamburger, don't go to a hamburger joint meeting. If you don't like what we're doing, don't come. Nobody's asking anybody to come if they don't like it. It's just not right. Any of us don't go anywhere we don't like to go or feel uncomfortable going. There's too many people out here just want to start drama. And Delhi is a small knit community. Everybody loves everybody, and somebody that wants to come in and ruin what we have, move. If this keeps going on, we're going to lose all the people that live in Delhi. It's ridiculous. Okay. Thank you, girl.
Next is a Jackie Polskamp.
Hi, I'm Jackie Polskamp. I live at 449 Sapphire. As a mom of a gay son who grew up here the whole entire time, I asked him about all the controversy. He doesn't live here now. And he said, Mom, maybe some trans people that don't know what this is about might be offended. But this is a charity function who his uncles dressed up, who are married and have kids, and have dressed up and played in these games. And he said, I don't understand the controversy. I grew up all my life in Delhi. I get people coming in that don't know what we're doing and why we're doing it, might be upset, but it doesn't need to be that way. I go everywhere with the gay community, obviously. I go to Columbus, I go everywhere with him, I do the gay pride parades everywhere, I do everything. I don't understand the men that have kids and have wives that do this and walk up and down the pike and go into the restaurants and go into the bars and collect money, why that's offensive to anybody. I just don't understand as a parent of it. I'm not on the committee, I'm not on anything. I just want to share a view from a mom that's lived with this for a while. I don't want anybody's feelings to be hurt at all. I support the whole community, but maybe the younger ones that are offended about it, like, go there and take a different look on it. Like, this is my uncle, my dad, my cousin, my whatever, that's dressing up as a woman just to have fun, to help some family get some money. That's my point. I'm not in any of this. I just want you to take into that viewpoint how that could be.
Thank you for sharing that,
All
Jerry.
right, thank you.
Okay, Hal Frankie? Hello, Mr. Frankie.
Good evening, how are you?
Good.
It's been a long time since I've been in one of these meetings. I think I was on the County Planning Commission the last time I came up there.
I think so.
My address is 6340 Rabbit Run, and I am a former trustee, as you all know. And my first introduction to the skirt game was my first year on the Board of Trustees. I was invited, I guess, by the committee or somebody to come out, and I think I threw out the first pitch for the game that year. I didn't know anything about the skirt game, even though I grew up in Delphi. Didn't know what it was about. But I spent the next however many years going to the game, my kids, everybody else, reading about it, meeting the people that were involved in it, the policemen, the firemen, and everybody else that was involved in it. And I came to appreciate what it was for the community. Something that definitely needs to be protected, something that's cherished by an awful lot of people, and something that needs to be continued. Now, we've had COVID and we've had all kinds of issues recently that have made it difficult for people to get out and about. People are still shy about getting out and about. Maybe this year we're going to see a change. I think we are. I think we can go downtown and see that it's starting to pick up again downtown. So I think maybe we'll see some of that happen out here in Delhi Township. I didn't know that there was a controversy, that the controversy was actually about men wearing skirts. That's one of the reasons I came up here. I wanted to hear what it was about, you know. I guess that's what it's about. And, you know, when you think about that, when you think about men wearing skirts or women dressing up like men, it's been going on for years and years in Hollywood, in vaudeville, and everywhere else. It still goes on in Hollywood. It goes on in our everyday lives. We don't prohibit kids from wearing what they want to wear in our schools. They can wear whatever they want today in our schools. To think that we're going to restrict what these people wear in the game, that's ridiculous. There's no way that we can take, we've got nearly 30,000 people in this township. Do you see 30,000 people here objecting to the skirt game? And the fact that they wear skirts? No, they're not here. There's some minority out here, whatever it is, okay, that is raising a ruckus about it. That's what it comes down to. And you have to weigh with 30,000, the majority of the township, nearly 30,000. They're not here to complain about it. And I think that's what you got to take into consideration. So I could say, I got a whole bunch of notes, but I don't think I need to say any more than that. I appreciate it.
If you don't mind, Madam Chair, I just want to comment before, because I know we have tons more to go on there. Again, my thought is, as we're going through this, we're not going to make a decision. We get bombarded with emails and everything from you, from everyone. We lay it out so you, skirt game committee, can play it out. We're not against you, and if guys want to wear the skirts and do what you've done for 40 plus, rock on. Do what you got to do. It's not about stopping that. We are on your side. We're trying to say, here's some things that have been brought up. Here's some people that seem to be offended. It's to you.
Trustee Davis, that's why I guess, Kelly, you came at me from an attack mode, and I'm not here to attack you. So I was a little bit like, where are you coming from on this? And to turn it around on a financial piece of information, look, We're here to talk and work with you. We understand the goodness that comes from the skirt game. That's not part of the controversy. That's not, we're talking to you about a compromise. We're talking to you about recognizing sensitivity, okay? Relax. It's not us against you. I don't need to see a sign that, so-and-so supports the skirt game. We all support the skirt game. So stop it already and realize that this is a two-way conversation.
Yes. And I just have to say this because where we live in 2022, I'm sure we all feel the same way. I've had it up to here with the PC, political correct, and all the other stuff with the woke movement and doing that. That ain't how I respond. I could care less about that. I want this game to be the best damn game ever in 2022. Nothing more, nothing less.
Right.
So please understand that. It's not our decision. And Kelly, where's Kelly? Maybe you and I have talked about this, and as I've said to you, I support whatever you do. We're just trying to say, hey, here's some possible landmines, here's things that are going on, because that's our job, we gotta do that.
Okay.
Other than that, do what you gotta do, it's all good.
All right, let's get through the rest of this list. What do you say, guys? All right, Mr. Luby, are you ready? I'm going to be about ready to call Mike DeMoss.
First, I do want to say the themes and stuff, some of the ones you mentioned, we've done in the last 3 or 4 years. Maybe we haven't got it out there. I think maybe we should get out there sooner and let people know what the theme's going to be that year, as opposed to just doing it that day and letting people know. That could be where that's missing, but we have done those themes.
But Mike, may I ask a question? It's always women. Can you do women and men? Can you do women and men DC? Women and men. I know. I'm just saying, that's a suggestion.
Exactly. Obviously, our meeting tomorrow, we're going to take everybody's suggestions and we vote on it. Dude, that's one of our committee, we vote on things like that, just like you guys do. So it's not one person's decision. Okay? But originally I was going to talk about the stuff about leaving the game as it is, the traditional ladder, all who's it hurting, all that kind of good stuff. But what I really want to do, what I say is not going to change anybody's mind one way or the other. So I just want to tell a little story about what keeps me involved. Okay? Sherry and I were having lunch. Which one? Can I say where it was? Little plug? Little plug?
Hey, a plug for that. And the loading service, by the way, also.
Little plug.
It's all right.
We had our skirt game shirts on. This lady came up to us and just basically said, "Are you guys with the skirt game?" We said, "Yeah." I said, "So what you do?" And she's like, "Well, I just want to thank you. You gave my mom her life back. We fixed her handicapped van a few weeks ago, and now she can get around and do what she needs to do." And I say, I don't care who dress, don't dress, whatever. As long as we hear stories like that every year, it's worth it. So that's all I really want
Mike,
to say.
that story is exactly why we're not here to fight you. We're here to try to enhance the skirt game. That's all. And it's a suggestion. And that's it. That's it. And nothing has been denied. I'm going to repeat that again. Nothing has come to us that we have denied. Okay. You ready, Mr. Luby?
We're ready.
Chris, is it Colco or Colo?
Coco.
Repeat it for me because I probably just butchered that, Chris. Sorry.
Coco.
Coco?
Yep.
I like that.
I just have a few thoughts. I'm not on either side. I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm a true independent. And above all, I'm a libertarian. And I think that all of this stuff, anybody that has a strong opinion one way or the other, needs to slow down and think about themselves. We all have a right and decisions to do as we please. We're a community, regardless of what happens. These are our neighbors. I never do this kind of stuff. I probably won't do this kind of stuff for a long time again. Not on Facebook. I don't get involved. I see the next door posts. I don't do that because everybody has a right to do what they want. I'm offended every day, some way, shape, or form. I'm sure everybody in this room can find a reason to be offended one way or another. True West Sider. I went to Oak Hills. My kids go to Oak Hills. Purple, quite frankly, offends me. People wear it all the time around here, and I have to find a way to deal with that emotion. Overcome that myself, especially on Fridays. Yeah, no, I just eat meat and then everything's fine. I get right back at it. Eat my hamburger in the restaurant. But I think the overarching thing here is I came to this because it's a local event and it's our local politics. And all the stuff that's going on in Ukraine, all the stuff that's going on in Washington, it affects us to some degree, but this is where it all starts. And I think that people need to get over themselves. Whatever you're mad about. When I was a kid, it probably would have been the right. It probably would have been the Christians shutting down this event if they could. Because what kind of men wear dresses, right? For sure. And now those are the people that are offended by men wearing dresses and having fun. I mean, is anybody missing the irony here? Because it's glaring. And ultimately, when it becomes unpopular enough, people won't come, and it has to change. I don't think that any kind of forced change. I mean, basically, what we're talking about here, and this is, we're policing thought. We're policing people's actions. We're policing their right to wear a purple shirt because I might be offended by it. We really need to slow down. Let people do what they want. And if you want to come, come. It's a good time. If you don't want to go, stay home. I mean, there's all kinds of events that I choose not to go to because I might be offended by them. They have the right to have any event they want. That's fantastic. It's America. I hope it stays that way.
Very good.
We need Chris in Washington.
Sure you don't want to do this again. Richard Betts. There he is.
Hi, my name's Richard Betts. I live at 448 Leith Avenue. I'm a lifelong member of Delhi. I've lived, born, and raised here. The skirt game has always been around, and no matter what anybody feels, I agree with Mr. Coco. If you don't like it, don't come. I'm also a gay member of Delhi Township, and I don't know who's offended by the skirt game, but it's time to get over it. So let the skirt game stay the skirt game for the rest of the time Delhi's here.
Okay. This is either Carol or Carl, and your last name starts with an I.
Carl Eigler, ma'am.
I think this is a Carl.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Carl. Would you introduce yourself, please?
My name's Carl Eigler, a.k.a. Lady Gaga. So, I live at 5372 Plover Lane. Many years I moved from Norwood to Delhi. I wasn't even here 2 minutes, and the Delhi community accepted me for being from Norwood, not a West Sider, and I went straight into the skirt game, not knowing what I was getting into. I belong to many organizations that raise a lot more money than the skirt game, but that right there, being in this skirt game, has made me become a better man, because I guarantee you, not one of you have seen what this money goes to. I have gone to these homes and handed out the money and seen the parents cry, seen the kids cry. In my eyes, you're holding the park over our heads because I've been around long enough that the trustees of this town have told us.
No, Carl. No, we have not denied.
No, you haven't denied, but you have held things over our heads. We used to have the fire truck. Trustees took it away. You told us to get off the streets. We did. But you held things over our heads for years. And I know that for a fact because I've sat in many meetings with whoever was trustee at that time. But I'm telling you right now, when you see the faces of these young kids and their parents crying and then saying thank you, that means more to me than anything in the world. And now my son wants to be part of the skirt game, but guess what? I feel like you're trying to take it away, and he can't even do it because I did 10 years and I'm a Hall of Fame. Do the right thing. Ease up on us. You're a committee, we're a committee. Let us do what we have to do, and we're going to dress as proud and show the community that who we are. Thank you.
we'll look into the fire department's participation. And I know that the thing about the streets is a safety thing. I have the police officers there. Yeah, so, you know, I'll take blame for a lot of things, but that one is to protect you, okay?
We only rode
So-
on the fire truck. That's it. We didn't ask for money. We just rode on it, just to pronounce the
Oh,
skirt
you're
damage.
talking, Carl, you're talking about the antique fire truck?
Yes, that's what we
That,
did.
that wasn't us. That's not ours. That has nothing to do with us. But thank you for bringing it up. Okay, Justin Maxwell.
All right, here.
There you go. Thank you for letting me speak. So I think we have a unique...
Justin, I'm sorry, can you give us your address, please?
5361 Tompkins Avenue. Sorry. We have a unique opportunity here to do something special and meaningful. Right now, we are seeing across the country a rise in violence against LGBTQI plus people. Since 2013, the murders of those communities have increased, and I have a rundown of laws that have been introduced or
He's not
passed.
from Delhi.
I'm born and raised Delhi, yep. I've attended the skirt.
The conversation is now between Justin and the board. Let's respect that, please. Thank you.
So, my biggest thing is that we can be advocates for the LGBTQI plus community while keeping the game. What participation is the game receiving from people in the LGBTQI community? How many people from the drag community are participating in this game? Is there a way to introduce those communities into the game? And to also, if we're speaking about raising funds for vulnerable people, people in the LGBTQI community are the most vulnerable amongst us. The violence against them is increasing, and both vigilante and in the state. So Ohio, in the month that the game occurred last year, Ohio joined a lawsuit that challenged federal rules that protect gay and transgender people from discrimination in school and workplace. DeWine signed a bill, the state budget, that allows for healthcare workers, hospitals, and health insurance companies to refuse to provide or pay for medical services. 250 anti-LGBTQI plus bills were considered last year across 30 states in the legislative session. So all this to be said, it's to contextualize what we're doing here. Are we doing this to advocate for our most vulnerable, or are we doing this as a punchline to mock drag, to mock trans students? I think it's almost too on the nose, but we have an anti-trans sports bill that is being passed in numerous states where young girls aren't able to play the sport in the gender they identify with, and then we have men who go and play a sport dressed as women, and so it seems like a mockery of the things that we see, the violence that we see perpetuated year after year. So I just wanted to quickly run down my course of action. So I want to engage in an open dialogue with the township so that we can build more representation into the game, and make it more like raise funds for the vulnerable, raise funds for trans youth and for LGBTQI plus. After that, I would like to compile testimonials from those communities and share them with you so that you get a sense of how they're feeling. I want to build a coalition with those and keeping everyone in the process during the whole time that we're doing this. Get a temperature check each time. But I want to build a coalition
with those organizations and with politicians to bring everyone into the conversation. And this is, so if we can't make any advancement in that, with like coalition building, that's when the public pressure campaign on social media is going to begin. If the game doesn't change from there, that's when the pressure on sponsors will begin. And I know that you had mentioned that the committee had mentioned that there are sports, or that there are funds that have been depleted over the years, that the money's going down. I don't think that there are companies who are that committed to the game that if we show that this isn't pro-LGBTQI plus game, then they're going to not want to be associated with that.
That's 5 minutes.
Justin, thank you for your thoughts.
If you don't mind, Justin, just a couple of quick thoughts. First of all, when you talk about that, and this is just me, please, do you have something that shows that they are making a mockery? Or you say if you're making I've been there for at least 25 times, at least. I've been a trustee for 15 years. I don't think I've ever seen any one of these players, committee members, anyone making a mockery. So kind of go easy on that. That's my first question. The second question is, are you the one who approached the skirt game committee last year? Or
yes, that was me.
Okay, so you.
Yes, this is something that's dear to my heart, and what I want to, I guess, in response to that, it's silence is violence in the face of what we're doing right now. And so then if we take it a step further and we make, this is a political statement. The game that is being played, whether or not you intend it to be, in the context in which I just described, it is making a political statement. And so what statement are we making? Are we making one that supports and advocates for our most vulnerable? Or are we going to ignore that violence and continue a tradition that is causing harm and suffering to people who identify as trans and may not feel safe to bring that up?
But Justin, these people are sick and dying in bed. How much more vulnerable do you think they are?
That is, it's missing the point. You're trying to bring something.
Justin, I'd like you to end your conversation. Your time is up.
I'm sorry, I was just answering the question.
Because I was just curious, because...
I understand Trustee Davis engaged you in conversation, but we need...
Yeah, I just wanted to answer this.
Thank you. Okay, I have one last speaker. And the winner is...
Just split the pot.
Tanya? Oh, it says not Tanya. Help me out. Simpson.
Hi, I'm Tanya Simpson.
Okay.
I've been in Delhi since I was in 6th grade, and I graduated 30 years ago, so I've been here for a long time. I don't understand the fact that grown men that want to dress in skirts, they should be allowed to dress in skirts if they want to. If you change the name of the skirt game, what's the skirt game? I'm just saying, I know it's not your thing, somebody has to say something and have to bring it all to a head like it is, but these are grown men and make their own choices. If they feel that threatened or that offended that they have to wear a skirt to a game that they do heroes and superstars and whatever else they want, they do Disney characters. I'm not a fan of children, but I gotta be there with all these kids. But I'll tell you what, they do a good thing because they support our community and they help the children and the families that need it, whether they got a skirt on or not. I prefer to see them with skirts myself. I'm all about it. I prefer a man filled with beard. But I'll take a skirt for men that are going to be bigger men than anyone that wants to be like, oh, I'm wearing a skirt because that's how I feel today. Okay, I feel like a dog. Woof. Seriously, this is real thing, and I am American, and this is real American. You should be able to allow, and thank you for allowing me to be here and speak and I'm at 5336 Briar Hill Drive, just so you know, on the same side of the farm, for those who are aware. We're all west side. This is a real thing, and if you're that offended for real, don't come. And if you want to work in your LGBTQ whatever,
show up.
Right.
Do that.
Lori, do you have, okay, we have one more. Oh, come on, Doug, you expect me to be able to read that last name?
Galbraith, over here.
Give me a break. Introduce yourself and give your address.
My name is Doug Galbraith. I'm at 5220 Zion Road. I used to live on Orchard View, 5585 Orchard View. I do Boy Scouts. I've been doing Boy Scouts for, I want to say, over 20-some years. The Boy Scouts have came before my time, and we clean the field. We are the people that come up after the game, and I started 18 years ago maybe. I came up during the game, and I saw who was taking the stuff down. It was older people, they were 60-something years old, and I said, this ain't gonna work. So I told my boys, because everybody in my troop is my boys, I said, we're going up, we're helping, we set up, we tear down, we put the event on, and it's for the community. And I sat there and listened, and we were told that we can't wear skirts or we will not have a game. That was exactly what was told to us. And it doesn't sound like that's true. So if they would say they want to wear skirts, are you going to allow us to have this contract? That's what I'm asking. It's very simple. If the guys want to really wear skirts.
That's already been said.
So it's a yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we should have a contract signed.
Doug, all we're trying to do is to make you aware of any opportunity to possibly grow the skirt game. Grow the skirt game.
Hey.
It's a great opportunity. Make it, everyone be as sensitive to you, that you are to the needs of our community, to everyone in the community.
And that's what that money, it goes to anybody. There's no this party, this group of people. If there's a need and you show it, because the committee goes out and investigates, then we give money out. And it sounds like we give money out pretty nicely. So I appreciate you allowing us to put this on, but I'd like to see it go on for another 20 years.
That's too bad.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you. I'm going to take this pink slip, and it's going to be the last one, okay? So everyone, this is your finale. Todd Shrimp, and I can read his name. Hi, Todd.
Hello, name's Todd Shrimp, 818 Martini Avenue, or Martini Road, sorry. A couple of things I think a lot of people just want to hear. If this goes on, is this something that's going to next year, once the elections are over, we're not going to get the contract? I think that's what everybody wants to hear here, is you guys on record, on camera, all saying that this is not, if it goes on this year, we're going to hold it over your head next year or next year. I think that's a common trait of what I'm understanding everybody saying. So all three of you guys up there, will you guys agree that this will not be a point for a renewal of contract next year? I think that's what most people want to hear.
I would like to also hear that you are always going to be open to suggestions from the administration. That's all. That's all. Do I hear it or not?
I am. I'm very open.
Okay. And then understand that when we go through the contract, we'll go through it like we have for the last 45 years. And compromise on what we need and how we'll do things. Is that all right with everybody here? We're not against you, Todd.
You're avoiding your question.
Don, listen,
What's the question?
it's been answered. And I can tell you, and I read it, my comments there, the media has it. I'm not going to block anything. This is the committee's decision. This is what they want. I don't want to address this again next year. I think we all got better things to do with our time. And for this one of three, you better bet. Full steam ahead. Wear your skirt. I'm dressing like Elvis that night.
So,
Or I can wear Humperdinck on
you're an
700.
independent committee of volunteers who are selfless with your time to get this project done. We're only here to make a suggestion, assist you, and finalize that contract. That's our job. All right?
That's my biggest thing, but out of curiosity here, please say why you do it. Raise your hand. Say what? How many people support what's going on in the skirt game right now? Who's offended by it? I think that speaks. But again, if you ever want to know Delhi or in general, go to your local water and talk to the people. There's a couple people that I spoke with that are actively cross-dressers. And here's what the skirt game told them. They gave them permission that day to come out. They felt comfortable coming out in drag that day that normally they wouldn't be able to. Maybe the way they dress up, look at things differently. Maybe it's our way as Delhi to say, hey, we accept this. We accept cross-dressers. We accept the LGBTQ community. Everybody wants to look at everything negatively, but this is maybe our way of saying, hey, come join us. Be a part of it.
And I hope that's a great suggestion, and I hope the committee has heard what he just said. Okay?
John, I would like to say, I know you guys rallied to get your people here tonight. So to say how many were offended here, here's a stack of letters that we received. They're afraid to come. Okay? No, not allowed. They are afraid to come. Okay? So, not to have them. How many are afraid to come? I don't keep on telling them. Those are the ones that have spoken out. So I'm just saying, it was unfair to vote and say, okay, nobody's against it.
As a local business owner, I was targeted this year. As a local business owner, I was targeted. I made national news this year because our parking lot was full. 54 parking spots for 200, 300 plus seats. We were targeted by 2 people that has called on us multiple times. So again, it is a minority that are speaking to you guys that are sending these emails. Yes, I understand they're afraid. But again, there's a lot of people that are tired of being suppressed by the 2 or 3 or 6 or 7 papers you have there. That is the problem. So
Yes,
again,
and I'll repeat again. I respect everyone in this community. I will represent everyone in this community. I answer all your letters, your emails, whatever, every complaint. I follow up on all of it. We all do. So please, just listen to what we're saying. We have not denied anything. We're just making a suggestion to try to build the skirt game.
Hey, 2 of you have. I've yet to hear her say it.
If I'm for or against, it doesn't matter, you have 2. But I do think there should be an evolution. There should be an evolution. I'm sorry, I think you can take these things and have female and male characters. Okay? You've got the game. You've got the game.
So my last statement is right there. It says, get out and vote for your trustee. 2 of them are up this year.
Well, there will be one.
Next year. Well, there will be, that's right. And I appreciate it.
Okay, we're
You're all going. Everybody.
political rally, okay? This is a charitable group, this is a good group of people who are all here with the right reasons, and I don't want to see it break down into a political fight. Stop it. We're better than this. You're better than this. The Delhi Skirt Game Committee has been around for 45 years. I keep wanting to say 48. I keep wanting to make you older than you are. But, come on. Don't attack us. We're not attacking you. We have always worked well together, and we want to see it continue that way. Have a great committee meeting tomorrow. Work your differences out amongst yourself. All right? And we will be meeting with you to go over the details of the contract. Yes, we have a few closing thoughts. Trustee Davis?
Again, thanks everyone for being here. I hope the message was clear to the Skirt Game Committee. You do your thing. Do what you've done. They're mere suggestions. No one's forcing change. No one's on that level. So if it came across as that, I give you as your trustee and as someone that's lived here for all of my life, I'm sorry if that's how it came out. Or someone talked about the letter saying, we're going to take the field from you. Not, absolutely not. Not this trustee, I can tell you that. As I said, full steam ahead. I do have one other thing. As I said, I trust the Skirt Game Committee, and I appreciate that. And I got to thank Kelly, too. Kelly and I work together. I get to see you all the time. And just thanks. We've had some good thoughts, good talk, and it's cool. I loved it. Thank you. The bottom line is every one of us has the best thing in mind for Delhi Township. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all we want. We want to be heard. We want to be respected. The points that we have, we merely play it out to you all. here's what we've heard, here's what you've got. It's not my decision, any of their decisions. It comes back to whatever you decide, and we will back that, I will back that, whatever it is. I don't want to address it next year and the year to come. I think we're all on the same page, full steam ahead. My last point is this. Every one of us are approachable. Every one of us. Feel free, call me personally, I don't care. Go into social media and everything doesn't resolve anything, and it airs a lot of stuff to people that don't need to hear it. Because we are a good community. It's one of the best things, and it's a close community. As you were saying, everyone knows everybody, or you're related somehow. So always feel free to give us a call. And as I said, I think as Trustee Stevens, we represent everybody. We represent you. And I'm just glad you came out. Hope it was productive and you heard a clear message.
All right, Trustee Starks?
Yeah, on my behalf, or on your behalf, thank you for everything you do. Like I said, we've been part of it ourselves, my husband and I, okay, and we do support you. I feel it's our responsibility to bring to you what is being said, to try to make your event the best that it can be. And no, you didn't ask us, but we were forwarding to you what has been brought to us, what people have been saying, and how you can maybe possibly make it a little bit better, a little bit higher attendance. So our intent was not to offend you, but again, like Mike said, to try to make this the best, so that you can raise the best money that you can for the needs of the people. And I know many of the people that receive the money. And yes, it's a bang-up job, what you do as far as how you spread your money so thin to be able to take care of so many. So for that, thank you.
Yes, like Trustee Davis, this is my hometown. This is where I grew up. Briar Hill, you came up right behind Orange Lawn, and that is where my first home was. From there to Pedretti Road. Yes, I'm an Oak Hills girl, and you know what? I've been to this skirt game many, many times. I have had cousins for generations participate wearing a skirt. But listen to me. I represent everyone, and I will share with you what they say and what you can, and any suggestion they have on what you can do. I will always do that. I will always represent the skirt game committee if they need something done. So don't shoot these messengers, because a lot of times that's what they are. We're messengers. We're following what people are saying, and we're trying to get it shared. So thank you so much, Delhi Skirt Game. You have a great mission, and we wish you the very best in your game this year. Enjoy the evening.
Yes.
We're going to do what we normally do when we have a large crowd like this, focus around one part of the meeting. If you would like to take leave, we understand. No hard feelings. But we need to get on with the rest of the business of the meeting, okay? So if you guys want to stay, you're more than welcome. We'd love to have you. But if you'd like to move on, we understand that too. Thank you so very much for being here. Hold on. Okay, everyone, we're ready to start. I like your attitude. Danny, are we on? Okay. Moving forward for the meeting then. A lot of trustee correspondence. All right, our next item on the agenda is the fire department. Chief Campbell, we got you?
Here.
Okay. Mr. Luby, can we have the reading, please?
Motion to accept the voluntary resignation of part-time firefighter paramedic Hayden C. Dreschler, effective on March 19, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Yeah, we wish Hayden
Chief.
well. Yeah, he received a full-time job offer out of the Wyoming Fire Rescue, so.
Well,
I hate to see him go, but we do thank him for his service to Delhi.
we sure do thank him, and we wish him the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation, Mr. Luby, you want to start with the resolution?
Resolution 2022-20, resolution restating the Parks and Recreation user permit fee schedule for permits in connection with the limited exclusive use of facilities and participation in programs, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I would introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
Second the adoption of this resolution?
Any discussion on this resolution?
Sure, thank you, trustees. Over the past few years, the fee schedule for the Parks Department has been updated, but unfortunately, they were not using the most current version when we were doing updates, so there's a lot of fees that were missing off of the schedule. So this is basically a cleanup to get everything back on course before we get a busy season. So we are adequately charging the right fee for sporting events, shelter rental, everything like that. Probably going into next year, we will look at the schedule again. Our fees are quite a bit lower than a lot of neighboring communities.
That's what I wanted to ask you. You have looked at neighboring
We have
communities?
looked at
and
some. I just give an example. Our fee schedule for a rental of the shelter is $50. Most communities are $150 as the cheapest. Some fees for lodges are up to $2,200. Ours is $300. So we'll look at that again, probably going into next year, a little bit more, as we're also adding more events to the parks to make sure we have everything in here, that we have everything covered going into 2023. But we just want to get this adopted for this year so we have an adequate and a correct fee schedule.
All right.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading? Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Greg, on the fee schedule, do we yet have an established fee if someone wants to rent the stage?
No, we do not. Our policy has not been to rent the stage. If that is something we want to look at, we can definitely add that in at some point, along with the contract for the stage.
Okay, can you add that to our to-do list because we have some inquiry about using the stage?
Sure, we'll definitely do that.
All right, thank you. Mr. Luby?
Motion to approve the rehiring of Elizabeth A. Rodesheimer as seasonal parks and recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $16 per hour, effective March 10th, 2022, and upon successful completion of drug testing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
She's a great seasonal worker, and we'll look forward to seeing her. Motion approved.
Motion to approve the rehiring of Louis J. Nye Jr. as seasonal parks and recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $15.50 per hour, effective March 10th, 2022, and upon successful completion of drug testing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes.
Yeah.
Motion is approved.
Motion
Welcome.
to approve the rehiring of Jacob A. Rudolph as seasonal parks and recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $15 per hour, effective March 10th, 2022, and upon successful completion of drug testing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Motion approved.
Welcome back.
Wow.
It's like welcome back, Carter.
Yes. It's great.
Motion to approve the hiring of Cameron Adams as event custodian in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $15 per hour upon successful completion of the pre-employment drug testing, background check, and voice stress analyzer, effective March 10th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes. Motion approved. Greg, do we still have openings in the park for the summer?
We have a lot of openings in the park. And we're also
Okay,
looking-
people, they're starting to fill in.
Yeah.
So if you would like a great summer opportunity job, we have jobs in the park.
And we also have volunteer opportunities for Florida Paradise Garden too.
Oh, the Florida Paradise Garden volunteers?
Yep, I was
Great.
about to. Thank you.
All right, next I have the police department. Assistant Chief Braun. Mr. Luby, may I have the motion, please?
Motion to approve the hiring of Anthony A. Crawford as police officer at the first-year rate per the collective bargaining agreement with the Delhi Police Association upon successful completion of the background investigation, psychological testing, physical exam, and drug testing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes. And you're going to give us a little talk on Anthony Crawford?
Absolutely. As you guys are all aware, we had 2 retirements back in June. So we started a hiring process actually before that. So it's taken us this long to find somebody we can welcome to our family. I say that because there's agencies around the area that are lowering their standards and hiring people because obviously applications are obviously increasing rapidly. But we refuse to lower our standards, and we found somebody that's an outstanding young man that's going to be good for our community, it's going to be good for our department, and is going to be an ambassador for you guys. So with that, we're excited to bring him on, and you'll get a chance to meet him, and I'm certain you'll feel the same way. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to.
Just one question, Jeff, there isn't a start date on here. Do you have a potential start date for him? Does it go by Anthony or Tony or?
Anthony.
Anthony?
As soon as possible, we have to schedule a psychological.
Okay, so it's just after testing and then we'll start. Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Assistant Chief Brown, you might note that there's two others you're
correct
getting down to the final process with.
Thank you, Administrator Cameron. Yeah, there's two others that we're looking at as far as we're starting backgrounds on and conducting some more interviews. Two fantastic candidates that they're currently employed, so I won't disclose their names. But I will say they're both females, and they're exceptional candidates, and we're excited to see where it goes, and hopefully we can bring them on to our family as well. So,
great.
They're fantastic.
Currently serving as police officers?
Correct.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And then alternates at full capacity,
Yes.
plus one.
Plus one. And the reason that's important is because we currently have 6 people who are retired, and clearly it's taken us 9 months to find
Fill
somebody.
2.
Correct.
Okay.
One thing I point out too is while you're talking about the hiring aspect, I see advertisements, there's an active advertisement on TV for recruiting. Police, fire, it's just a different landscape than it had been. So the assistant chief and I constantly talk about the fact that if we find candidates and we think they're worthy, it might be worth adding somebody, beyond what the current, level is. I don't, would you have 33 if you hired 2 more? Because that's your level.
Correct. 2 more would give us 33, which is that's your
your
allotment, yes.
Yeah, but anyway, with the landscape
Well, we have
out there-
pending of 6 possible retirements.
Potential, and so
Yes.
with the way it is to find candidates now, I'd support taking advantage of good candidates that are interested, because they're hard to come by now.
As Administrator Cameron mentioned, I mean, we're constantly recruiting, we're constantly, just a little side story about Anthony, Mount St. Joseph police officer, he came in to Chipotle when Jim and I were there, the chief and I were there, and we're like, then we introduced ourselves, we talked to him immediately, he was very, very mature young man, and then the rest is history, so.
And from past conversations too, the flavor of trying to get experienced candidates and not ones that are just coming out of, trade school. And so that is always our goal. And we've adjusted the pay scales to be able to make lateral moves from those in the city and beyond that would, be a good fit for Delhi. So I assume we're still looking at those, and let's see how it goes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It sounds like the candidates are a great candidate. Yeah.
Trustee Davis, and I do think we're seeing some of those changes, bearing fruit with candidates that are applying. Not that they make it to this point, some of them they don't move on, but I think we're seeing the benefits of some of those changes.
Good. Awesome.
Congratulations, Lon. Let's
Al?
hope this hire comes through.
Al, you've done it all, trustee, committees, you'll be a police officer in town.
We have openings in the park.
For a brief moment, that thought crossed my mind. At my age.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Public Works, resolution, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2022-21, resolution authorizing execution and submission of the 2021 Township Highway System mileage certification, declaring an emergency, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Mr. Riberger.
Thank you, trustees. I just wanted to mention this is a requirement that for MoDOT
that we approve this every year. And I did want to say that ODOT did use some modern technology, and they're kind of doing an audit for all the townships, and our mileage actually did lower about half a mile. I talked to other townships, nobody's majorly concerned or anything, but we are keeping an eye on it.
All right, thank you.
I will move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Libby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis? Yes. Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes, resolution passes. Thank you, Ron.
But just wanted to mention a couple of road closures.
Oh, please do.
Okay, Rapid Run, this has been in the works for a few years. It's a Hamilton County project. They're replacing a culvert. They're expected to be about 3 months, depending on weather. We really haven't had many calls on it. I think the social media, how we put it out there, really helps a lot. And we have another one, Fair Road closure. They're doing a water main replacement in that neighborhood. I think everybody's aware of it. Any complaints that we've had, the contractor's been very responsive on taking care of it. And I just want to mention real quick that the litter patrols have been out. I want to kind of thank Hamilton County. They've really stepped it up this year. I called in a location in the city that butts up to the township, and it was picked up today. So It's been a pretty impressive year for litter.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, back to the agenda under administration. Resolution, Mr. Libby.
Resolution 2022-22, resolution entering into a natural gas aggregation agreement with AEP Energy, Inc. as the natural gas supplier to the township's natural gas aggregation program, authorizing the township administrator to execute the agreement and dispensing with the second reading.
I will introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Mr. Cameron, do you want to introduce Mr. Dieters?
It would certainly be my pleasure. But before I introduce him, just as a preface to what we have here, the township aggregates natural gas supply, which is something they've been doing for many years, and electric. And so what Mr. Dieter's company does, Energy Alliances, they broker these contracts for us with energy suppliers. So this one is for natural gas, which our current, I think it's a 3-year term, will end at the end of May, so we have something in place. I'll let Mr. Dieters explain what that is, but this is our time to then put that aggregated price in place, and it's an opt-out program, so you're in it if you're eligible, and you can get out at any time. There's no cost to get in or out. So with that, Mr. Dieters, we have some slides you provide us.
How you doing? Thank you. Nice to be back here again. Just coming off of our program, I'll give you just a brief history. 2019, we started a 3-year program at 39.6 cents per CCF. First year and a half of the program was kind of shaky because of COVID. A lot of manufacturers weren't using gas, so the price of gas dropped significantly. The last 18 months, however, have been pretty strong. And this last winter, in November, the Duke GCR, which is their price that they charge folks that aren't in aggregations or aren't in third-party deals, was 82 cents. We're at 39.6. December was 72, January, February 62. This month, right we're in right now, is 72 again. So there's a significant amount of savings through the winter, and it's going to lead to the 3-year deal being very successful for the residents of Delhi. In addition to Delhi, Greene, Coleraine, Westchester, Sims, Sycamore, all have this program, and we're all in together. It's about 100,000 houses. So that's where we are as far as that program. That program ends the first read in June. So if your meters, everybody's read a different day. If you're on the 2nd, you're done, and you'll start the new program. If you're on the 15th, you're done that day, and then you'll start the new program. So that's where we are. What we're asking you to do, because as you may have seen when you went to the gas pump this last week or two, energy is quite volatile. And we went out and we bid this program with 5 or 6 different companies, suppliers, to try to come up with the best price. We think it's going to be in the low 50s. What we're asking is, because of the way things are now, used to be when I came in and asked for that 39.6 cents 3 years ago, they'd say, okay, give us a call in a day or two, let us know if they wanted to do it. Now they call us at 8 o'clock in the morning and said, what did Delhi do last night? We'll send you the contract, we need it back in 2 hours. That's how quickly it's moving right now. So what we're trying to do, and the best part about this is you get a stable rate. You don't get, there's been a 60+ cent swing in the last 3 years in the rates for if you're a Duke Energy customer. So if we lost a little, won a little, it's a good thing. We won a little, but the big thing is that it's a stable rate. People can budget for it, people see it, and the billing remains the same, and that's why these programs are so good. So if you look at what's coming up, I don't know if you have, so it looks like the price of gas is going to be in the $4.50 to $5 range. That would be 45 cents to 50 cents, and that is just the raw price of the gas. That's not getting it to you. So we have a belief that for at least next winter, this is going to be a pretty good price for the folks in Delhi. Even though it's going up a little from 39, it's not doubling like gasoline did. So that's kind of where we are. We're asking you to give Mr. Cameron the authority to sign a contract up to 56 cents. We don't think it will be that high, but we need a little buffer in case the market does something crazy.
Okay, any questions?
No. No, thank you.
So nice to see you, Mr. Dieters. Thank you. Part of the reason why we are with Energy Alliance is because of the no opt-in, opt-out cancellation penalty, okay? So that's one of the reasons. The second reason is this. They have a tremendous panel of customer service people. And if we have questions, and if you're getting slammed by requests, which right now they've started up again, so get ready. They're out there. You can let us know who you are, and we will pass that information to Energy Alliance. Don't fall victim to being slammed on these things.
Unfortunately, they'll probably talk to me.
That's all right. That's okay. Go right to the team.
But I'm here. But we're here to help. And folks can come and go as they please, no matter how many times they want, without any fee from the program. So there's no issue with any of that. And the second thing is, if you get out of the program at one point, most companies will say, yeah, you can come back in the program, but we're going to give you a different rate. We're going to give you the market rate at that time. Our contracts are specific to that. Anybody that joins the program over the next 2 years is got to come in at the rate that we start at. So that's all protected. And the last thing is a lot of people have asked, we're going from 3 to 2 years this time because there's so much uncertainty. If that third year drops significantly, we can blend that back in and lower everybody's price. There just seemed to be no reason, money-wise, to put that third year in now. We can do it in 6 months. We can do it next month. It doesn't really.
Is this a fixed rate, or will it flex down like other times?
This is completely fixed at this time.
So this is a flat rate for the 2 years, which they will lock in, or they'll get a price in the next couple days.
By Tuesday, we think.
So that's typically how this rolls, is they go out and understand the market, and then when it's at the right time, they call and I confirm we can do this based on your approval. So folks that, just because we've gotten a lot of calls more recently with our gift card scam, which is not a scam, I'm just kidding, but we got a lot of calls. So I think people are maybe paying more attention than they typically have. This aggregation is an opt-out, meaning if you're a resident of Delhi and eligible means you're either sitting on Duke as a regulated utility or you're currently in our program, you are enrolled in this without taking any action. You get a note that gives you the option to opt out. So it's called opt out. Then it's flexible, so you can get out if you want to. Lori, who's hiding in the back, she will take calls, I'll take calls. And they have somebody at the office called Rich and he's my problem solver. We get quite a few people who are on another supplier's program, and they don't understand. And so Rich is the one that helps them sort that out, because we put a price in place, and sometimes Duke may beat it because their price moves, but by and large, this price beats it, so this is a better option for you. That's why we're comfortable doing this. So this is kind of the easy button for folks when it comes to supply on electric and gas.
I do have a question. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, I'm now. The rates you're showing up here, those aren't the rates, those are...
We built a little buffer in there so that,
Okay.
but it's not to exceed that number.
Okay, all right, because when you said they'll call and, I didn't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we just with the way the market is moving right now, if they come back to us Tuesday morning and say it's 45.6 cents or 55.6 cents instead of 54 or 53, we want to make a decision on whether we can move on that or not.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Davis.
I will move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2022-23, resolution approving participation in Region 2 governance structure under the One Ohio Memorandum of Understanding, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. Cameron?
So this was the settlement negotiated with the big pharmacy companies over the opioid issues. I can't tell you how this money is going to flow through, but what this particular resolution does is it establishes, or it's our support of establishing a governance structure for the program management at our level, at the county level. So it's kind of a Hamilton County thing. So they pushed it out and said, can you all just bless this? So that's all this is doing. I honestly can't tell you when we're going to see this money, how much we're going to see, but it's, what is it, like $800-900 million for the state? Yeah. So, and who knows how that's going to flow through. But we've taken action to be a participant.
Yes.
And this,
Right.
I'm seeing this in every jurisdiction that I represent, same legislation to be able to set
Right.
that. So it's something we want to do.
All right.
Yeah.
Trustee Davis.
Well said.
I will move to dispense with the reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Libby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes. Continuing along, community development. You only have no agenda items, but I know you have updates.
What would you like to know? I'm going to take advantage of a night of
Note the date, March 9th, 2022.
There were no nuisances.
Catch your breath. Catch your breath.
I will give, what they do is try and work to this point where we had 3 nuisances teed up. 1 got knocked off Friday, 2 got knocked off today. So the effort by the department is to get people to take care of these things. So all of them came off. So kudos to your guys.
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome. Just catch your breath. We'll be back many a times the rest of the year. So.
Greg, we do have an estimate on how far the one, and I don't remember the street, it was the most recent, the truck was on the front lawn, and there was all this TVs and all this other stuff that was on the front porch.
Mapleton.
Oh, Mapleton.
Yeah, how long do you think that was going on building up there?
That has been going on continuously. They always bring it into compliance before we can bring it in front of you.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Is that the same address that moved in the porta potty? Okay. I know where you are.
Yeah. So, yeah, there are people that understand how this works, and they will play the game, and unfortunately, we have to start over by state law at the beginning each and every time. And it's a timely process. It can be 4 to 6 weeks before we can actually abate it.
And that gives them time to clean it up.
And like this month, we have an extra week in the month because you don't meet, there's 5 Wednesdays, so, yeah. But it does have an informal order that is actually due tomorrow. So if it's not resolved, then we'll maybe declare it, but it'll be not until your meeting on the 30th, unfortunately.
Thank you, Ray.
Yep.
Thank you to your staff, too. All right, Mr. Luby, you want to go through the public comments? Hey, I want to move on the agenda. You want to start this off? How about if you give us the community events?
I will try. Delhi Historical Society program, Finley Market of Cincinnati History, will be Monday, March 14th at 7 p.m. We'll be here at the Lodge. Join the Delhi Historical Society and welcome Alyssa McClanahan as she discusses her book, Finley Market of Cincinnati History. The Delhi Branch Library in-person homeschool book club is Wednesday, March 16th at 1 p.m. And it's at our Delhi Branch Library. Appropriate ages are 8 to 12. The group will be discussing Strange Worlds Travel Agency by L.D. Lipinski. Registration is required. Contact the library with any questions. The Easter egg hunt hosted by the Delhi Business Association is Saturday, April 9th at 10 a.m. The rain date is April 16th. It is here at the Delhi Park Lodge. This event is free to all children, ages up to 8 years old. Find that certain egg and win a prize. The Delhi Spring Craft and Vendor Show, hosted by the Delhi Parks Department, is Saturday, April 9th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's at the Delhi Senior Community Center on Neeb Road. 35 vendors with homemade crafts as well as products from popular companies. Contact the Parks Department with any questions. Clean Up Delhi Day is Saturday, May 7th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that's at the Senior Community Center on Neeb Road. The event is free and open to Delhi Township residents only. Visit the Township's website or call the Parks Department with questions. The paper shredding event hosted by the Delhi Business Association is Saturday, May 7th. It's from 9 a.m. till noon or until the truck is full, so please be sure to arrive early. It's at C.O. Harrison School on Neeb Road. The Delhi Community Yard Sale is Saturday, May 14th from 8:30 a.m. until noon, and that's at the Delhi Senior Community Center. Contact Delhi Parks for information on becoming a seller, and this is for Delhi residents only. The cost is $10 per space.
Thank you, Mr. Libby. There is no need for executive session this evening, so if I could call for an adjournment, but before I do, I have one thing to say. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. Thank you for being respectful to everything that was said from the podium, and we are grateful to the skirt game, and we wish them the best in their committee meeting. Thank you for that. Now call for the adjournment of this meeting.
I will move to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor? Yes. Thank you, everyone. This meeting is adjourned.
Bye-bye. Get him safe.